Let's actually do the calculation for elasticity. Now, remember again, is the percent change in quantity divided by the percent change in price. From there, we'll get a number, and then we can interpret that number as either elastic, unit elastic, or inelastic. Now, remember, elastic shows us we're going to have a bigger change in quantity. Inelastic is going to show us a very small change in quantity. All right. So, based off of the law of demand here, it is very important to note because prices are higher, quantity is lower, we are always going to be a negative number when we calculate elasticity of demand. So what we like to do is use positive numbers to make sure there's no confusion about what's going on. Like for instance, you would think negative 0.5 is inelastic because it's less than 1, and that's true. But also, if you got negative 1.5, you would think that's inelastic because it's less than 1. But actually, it's elastic. Because it's always going to be a negative number, we need to take the absolute value to show us that there are numbers that are greater than 1 and numbers that are less than 1. Okay, so always take the absolute value, look at the positive numbers. That goes back to what I was saying about inelastic being a 0 point something. All right, if you get 0.75, negative 0.8, right, 0 point something, that is inelastic. If you get negative 1.5, negative 5, negative 9.7, all right, all of those are elastic because if you took the absolute value, made it a positive number, it's greater than 1. Okay, so that's very important. So let's actually get into this. On a graph here, we have the demand curve, and we're going to calculate the elasticity from B to A. So we're going to use our price and quantity numbers here to figure out what was new and what was old. So we're going from B to A. So what is the old here? Well, we're going from B to A. So we used to be at B, and now we're at A. So the old is B, and the new is A. So remember, for the price elasticity of demand, PED, we're looking at the percent change in quantity divided by the percent change in price. And so what we're going to do is the new quantity minus the old. So we'll do 3,000 because that's the new minus the old divided by the old. So that's our quantity. Now we got to find the percent change in the price. So we got to use the new price, which is A, 60. So we'll do 60 minus the old, which is 70, and divided by the old, which is 70. Okay, so let me get a new sheet of paper out so we can write this out. Wait. So we're looking at PED. The new was 3,000 minus 2,800 minus 2,800. 60 minus 70 over 70. Now, there are many ways you can calculate this. If you have like a TI-84, you can just plug it in exactly like this and you can get an answer. If you don't, you can solve it by hand, just working top down. So we'll do 3,000 minus 2,800, just working top down. That one's 200, easy. Nothing going on here with 2,800. 60 minus 70 is negative 10 and divided by 70. From here, you can divide the 200 and the 2,800. So doing those two together, you should get 0.714. And then if you did the 10 divided by 70, you'll get negative 0.143. So, oh, it's 0.07, I'm sorry. 0.07. Now, from here, we'll take 0.0714 and divide it by 0.143, and you should get PED equal to negative 0.499, which is approximately negative 0.5. And as I mentioned earlier, we will take the absolute value, and that'll make us at 0.5. So what kind of good is this? Is this elastic, greater than 1, unit equal to 1, or inelastic, less than 1? Well, as you can see here, it is 0 point something, so that is inelastic. All right, so that's how we do it. All right, here's another one. We're going to go G to H. Again, we got to figure out what is new and what is old. We're going from G, so that's the old, to H, which is the new. Okay, so we're going to use, you can use the numbers from the graph, but I also put them here. So we'll do the percent change in quantity first, divided by the percent change in price. All right. So here are those numbers for G to H for the price elasticity of demand, percent change in quantity, percent change in price. So the new is the H, which is a quantity of 1600, minus the old 1800 divided by 1800, and then we'll do the prices, right? The prices were 120, 130. The new is H, and the old is G. So we'll do 130 minus 120 over 120, and again we're just going to work top down. So we'll do 1600 minus 1800, that's negative 200, divided by 1800, and then we'll do 130 minus 120, which is 10 over 120. From here, we'll just divide these two numbers. So we'll get negative 0.111, and then we can do this one here, just 10 over 120, and that is 0.833. From here, I'm sorry, 0.083. Good. From here, we'll just take these two numbers and then divide them, and you should get 1.33, negative 1.33. We'll take the absolute value here because it's always a negative number. And based off of this calculation, we're going to say this is an elastic good. And the reason this is elastic is because it's greater than 1. Greater than 1 is showing us that the percent change in quantity is more than the percent change in price. People are more sensitive to price changes here. Okay, it is elastic. Okay, so that is how we do the calculation. Again, the main thing to remember, it's quantity on top always, and it's new minus old divided by old. All right. If you need another run at this, just restart the video. But that's how you do it. In the next one, we're going to talk about what is called the midpoint method, which uses the same idea.